Um, so I kind of wanted to get something off of the chest to really, really get people on the same level, right? I gave you all the existential question. Now here's to let me be the one to hit you with trauma. However, this isn't for clout. This is really for people to understand that, like, you can heal from trauma, but that doesn't mean that you won't deal with other ones. Um, this is a little bit rough, so if I start crying, please, by all means, know that I'm okay. I made a decision of myself to talk about this. Content warning. This will deal with sexual assault. Yeah. So, as you guys know, that I've been in the community, like I said, 12 and a half years now. You guys also know that I do other shit. I'm a cosplayer. I've done cosplay for years. Um, Funny enough, uh, it was a teacher of mine that once told me that I should actually start doing cosplay to help me understand, like, characters and stuff like that, and how to create them. When I say that, I'm referring to something that was because I went to school for game design. Um, let's flash back to 2015. 2015 was a major year. Um, I was super excited. I had Me and a former best friend were really close. Like, we had been friends for years at this point. We were like brothers. Him and I shared the like. Funny enough, we were just really close. Um, he had met someone at a convention, I believe it was. Really enamored with the way that this person was because the person was very charismatic. Um, Introduced me to him. I didn't like the person very much. Um, Felt like they were pretentious and trying to too hard to be liked, and did a lot of work for that. It's kind of fucking gross. I want to tell you guys that this story is dark, but it shines a light on the friends that I do have and the friends that I thought were friends that did not do anything for me. So just let that be a forewarning of what's going to happen. I ended up building an entire cosplay crew. Like, this cosplay crew was a crew that went to cons, had a good time, left the cons, and we always made a showmanship of the things that we did. The first two founding members of this group was me and my best friend at the time. We were the founding members. We were the ones that forged that group. The name of the group, I won't tell you. Yeah, I can't. It's a little bit too much information. Just know that this group was very popular and over time gained even more prestige. We were known for actually creating a group that became very popular in a very short period of time. We jumped to, like, the really popular crowd within 3 months. And that was because of me. I was a beginning armor maker. I started making armors, I started making cosplays and stuff, and people had a very high opinion of the stuff that I created. I myself do not have such a high opinion of the shit that I make. That's just the way of the artist. Um, my friend decided to let this person into the group, and he was like, yeah, it'll be really good if they join they could be a part of us, and it'll be like a family. We'll be going to cons together. It'll be so great. I was never too sure about the person, but this is my friend. He told me that it'll be great, so I went along with it. Why not? Thought it'd be great. Thought it'd be a good idea. Sometimes we throw caution to the wind because we think that the things that our friends say makes the situation better. It absolutely does not. And if anything, it makes the situation worse, and it makes you wonder if that person ever had your well-being in mind, especially with the part of the story that I'm going to tell you. When we started partying, when we became really big, we started partying a lot. We were already graduated. We were in our 20s. We were partying, drinking, having a good time. We always went to different events. It was one day that I told one of my friends, my best friend actually, I sat down at the table, and I finally decided to come out of the closet as being bi. By all sense of the word, by the time that I realized that I am not bi, it was weird. A lot of people are like, wait, I thought you were bi. I am. But the correct term would be pansexual, because I did not know that bisexual does not count for trans people, that you would date trans. I did not know that. I didn't know that pan counted for dating trans and bi did not count for dating trans, which is fucking stupid. Oh my God. I've been bi my entire life. I didn't know I had to add in the title of pan to fall in. A lot of people always tell me, a lot of bi people always tell me, pan is fucking stupid. It's like, no, you are bi. And because, it just makes sense. Pan is just to accommodate all these extra people who you would have dated anyway. And they're right. They're right. What happened next was kind of weird. At said party, we were all partying, enjoying ourselves and shit. And I knew that the person I had said I didn't care for very much, that my friend loved having around, told me, he was like, oh, you're bi too? Yeah. Well, then we should date. No. Then you're not bi then. Why? Because I don't want to fuck you? It's like, that's obviously a fallacy. There's a fallacy to that there. And he's just like, well, I've never met a bi person that wouldn't want to have sex with me. What? I hope that some person that's listening to this actually understands that, that's weird. That's fucking strange. That's a strange thing to fucking say to somebody, let alone that you say it in a way that makes it sound very awfully conceited. Now, mind you, this person is already in a relationship with someone that was in the group. So why the fuck would I sleep with this person knowing that the relationship that they're in is monogamous? See the point? Let alone, I'm not attracted to this person whatsoever. At all. I'm leading this group. And then later that night, at the same party, his girlfriend leaves. I'm still there with all my other friends and shit. And this dude takes it upon himself to grope me. And I go, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were bi. The fuck? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? That's not how that works. Please do not touch me without my consent. What the fuck are you doing? This does not stop. This continues to happen. And I thought at some point that one of my best friend, who was always there for me, would say something. Nope. Now, over time, this groping got really pervasive. And, like, I was hoping that someone else would, like, say something, or like explain to him like this is not appropriate. And I didn't want to cause any type of friction, which is stupid on my part because I really don't have the problem with that now, and that's due to this situation. Funny enough, yeah, funny enough, with someone that like myself who is really good with public speaking, I have really awful fucking anxiety, and this is partially that reason. The more that I think about this, the worse that it got. It got very pushy. He would cheat on some chick that he was cheating with, that he was with, and then constantly try to hop in bed with me with it. Now, one of my close friends, who is like, she is still to this day like one of the sweetest people I have ever known, and she actually is like, I met her through him, and I was mean to her when I first met her because I was like, actually no, I didn't know who she was, and I remembered him dating someone else, so I didn't know who this bitch was. And I was like, who the fuck are you? And then I realized that the person that I was mean to was that girl's friend, was my friend's friend, who I do have a crush on, but like it's weird. It's a crush of similar interests. And I think that she's awesome, and I absolutely adore this girl. But at the same time, it's like I know that an actual relationship between her and me would never work. I also know that like I'm also like friends with her husband, so like her husband is really cool. Like I love that guy. Him and I have really hilarious fucking conversations. Um, no, the point is that I was mean because I didn't know who she was. And I was tired of this dude constantly bringing in random women into our parties. And I didn't know who they were. And the situation got really bad because at one con, he quite clearly was trying to cheat on my friend that he was dating. And I go, what? And she messaged me about it. Now, what she didn't know was the two incidents that took place before this. Incident number one. I was at my house, early days of the vlog series, funny enough. I believe it was during the time that I was on hiatus. This is the 2-year hiatus that I went on with the podcast for a while. I had really just come out about me being an AB to my best friend and his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend being still one of my closest friends. She is sweet and I love her. But I told them about it and they were like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." No one cared. However, I was at home, minding my own business. I believe I was playing Star Wars back then. Someone knocked at the door. So, I was living on the south side of town, actually. And, I thought it might have been like one of my friends got really drunk and just stopped at my house, because where my house was at the time, it was near like all the bars and shit, so, and all the college kids used to go to the bars, and they still do, but yeah, I thought that was the case. I was wrong. I opened the door and it's an entire crew of people that this asshole has brought to my house. Now, mind you, I am double diapered with inserts, wearing a onesie at one point, and having to switch out of said onesie to go and put on regular clothes to answer this door. The diaper is still on, by the way. And because I didn't have time to, like, use wipes or anything. So I went down to the door because I had people screaming my name on the outside of my door. And I go, who the fuck? So when I do get dressed and I think I'm presentable, the first thing that I open the door to is all these people at my door. Now, two of my friends from college are there, along with several other people that I do know from college and the cosplay community. And this dude, this dude decides to force himself on me and like give me an overly sexual hug. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? To the point that he started like groping me and trying to slap my ass. And like my friend saw how uncomfortable I was, and she ran to me. And this is like my friend I went to college with. She ran to me, gave me a hug, and is trying to protect me from him. And she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm." She's like, "Don't worry, I'll make sure he doesn't touch you." I don't know why the fuck he did that. She is very protective of me. She's always been very protective of me, and I love her to death because she has always been someone super close. She did not know at the time of me being an AB. I did not tell her. Like, she's not open-minded like that. But it's interesting on what took place after this. So he gets the message, stops, then proceeds at the end to try to slap my ass. But when he does, he slaps this full-on diaper, and he's just like, what? Like, what the fuck? And then just like thinks about it. He's like, what the fuck just happened? And I go, why do you have to do this? Again, I know people are like, you're the leader of this team. Why don't you just kick him out? Because I was trying to avoid there being a shit ton of drama over it. Because that's exactly what would have happened. And I wasn't in for that. And I was hoping that one of my best friend would step in for me. Nope. So this starts getting questioned at an event, at a party, and this required me to actually, I just was like, I'll just explain it. Because at this point, cover is blown as far as I'm concerned. I tell everyone there, and everyone's like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, you never judged us, so we're not going to judge you. And they were like, yeah, it's all really cool. There are other people at the party, but like, that was a quiet conversation amongst friends. Later on during this party, this dude gets drunk and just outs me to the entire party, in which my friends literally tried to have to cover for me. And what happens is that some of the people there were like, oh wait, I didn't know you were in the kink community. But I wasn't ready to tell them about this, and it was really shitty. Now, remember I told you about the one girl that he was dating? She finds out about this, and she is fucking livid. She burn earths this dude when she found out he had cheated on her. Burn fucking earth. She straight out torched everything with this motherfucker's name on it, and literally made him an outcast in the entire community. She did more for me than my own best friend did. Like, I am telling a TLDR version of this story. Understand this. There was forced kissing, forced grabbing of the genitals. There was a lot of shit that I am not telling you all about. I am not telling you about the type of shit that he would do to try to force himself on me, because I don't want to traumatize you with that. But know that that is part of the story. There is parts that I'm leaving out. At that same party, he forced his tongue into my mouth, and I was like, no, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, what is with this? And At one point, I asked my friend, and I told him, now when he outed me as an AB at the party, I straight out looked at my friend, my best friend, the same person who I went to college with. We had been really close. We founded this fucking group together. Yo, you gonna say something about this? I would, but I don't have a girlfriend. What? I'm sorry, motherfucker. Did you just tell me that you couldn't back me up because you don't have a girlfriend? Are you fucking serious? That right there damaged the relationship majorly. Second time, there's another SA incident, funny enough, not involving me, that ended up being the killing nail for him and I's friendship. Yeah, there was another SA situation with a girl he was dating who was sexually assaulted by someone that wasn't in my group, and I fucking banned the dude from the group. Because I was very open after I found out that that guy had did that, and I straight out was like not quiet about it. And I was like, no. I was like, this dude is a fucking rapist. Why the fuck are you allowing this motherfucker into any type of group events? It's also why an entire section of my friends list is no longer a group of people that I actually hang out with that are in that community. It is mostly high and by at this point. I do not fuck around with them. Everyone else, I enjoy. I still have a friend who him and I meet each other. Ever we see someone, it's always zig zion, zig zion. May the glory of victory be yours. Yeah, we're still cool, but the guy that was supposedly my best friend back then, that shit was horrifying, and to know that he wouldn't have my back if something happened to me, that devastated me. Believe me, I've tried to actually record this like several times, and I've had a hard time because I did add the other parts to it. I didn't. I didn't want to talk about it. Still don't plan to. Those were really awful times. However, though, I want you to know even the toughest of people, even those that are group leaders and shit like that, have trouble dealing with situations. We're supposed to be there for each other and try to help each other grow. This is why I try to be a positive force in the community, because I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to deal with that shit, to deal with the trauma, to deal with the weight, without having someone else to come back and be able to give you a bit of a hand. I know what it's like. I want to build a better community, and it starts here. Let this be the first part of us working together to actually build a stronger community, to build something from the ground up, to build something with heart, with things that are necessary. Let's work together to create a better community. No more drama, no, none of that shit. Let's actually work together to make a better community. I look back at this shit and I'm just... I wish there was more I could have done, but it was one of those situations I wasn't ready for. And no matter how hard people say, well, you should have did X, Y, or Z. No, I shouldn't have. I couldn't. I didn't know what to do. I had never been in that situation a day in my life, and I understood it. But I was very happy to have people stand up and actually fight for me. I appreciate it, because that was a point in time I couldn't defend myself. Know that in these types of situations, you are not alone. You are not alone. Without the friends that I had, I don't think that I would have been in the same situation. I think I might have been in a worse situation. I don't know. Yeah. I never thought that I would still feel so uncomfortable about this. But in order to heal from trauma, you have to face it. Let me take the first step. All right. Well, we are going to go to another break, and we'll be right back.